This chart compares two buyout offers for a California manufacturer. Bid A is $15 million. Bid B is $14 million. At first glance, it looks like simple arithmetic, but as that $15 million bar splits open, it reveals hidden, unspoken costs. Subtracting the costs of restructuring and relocation pulls the net value of bid A well below $14 million. A sale transfers a community, the local brand identity, long-standing customer relationships, and the daily livelihoods of every employee on your payroll. If the buyer centralizes HR, moves operations, or replaces management, that extra $1 million pays for the dismantling of your legacy. Taking the highest valuation often requires a harsh compromise. You gain maximum capital liquidity, but risk losing the brand and culture you spent decades building. To justify paying top dollar in an acquisition, a buyer is forced to extract rapid value to make their internal math work. These unspoken costs rarely show up at the closing dinner. They arrive the moment the post-sale honeymoon period ends and the real operational integration begins. This dynamic sets up the central showdown in modern M&A, traditional private equity on one side and the family office on the other. To predict how a buyer will behave on Monday morning after closing, we have to examine the specific source and structure of their capital. To protect the things you refuse to compromise on, you must look past the purchase price and identify the financial incentives driving the buyer's playbook. Traditional private equity firms raise capital from outside limited partners, like pension funds and endowments, who expect a calculated return. This life cycle locks the buyer into a schedule. By year 10, they reach a harvest phase, reselling the business to return capital. To hit that window, the firm must drive EBITDA straight up, peaking sharply before the resale. This pressure dictates their entire operational strategy, centralizing shared services, strict new KPI reporting, and rigorous cost controls. In practice, that often means standardizing margins by reducing headcount, letting go of long-tenured senior managers, or consolidating local facilities. These moves create a highly efficient asset on a spreadsheet, but they frequently trigger severe cultural clashes on the local factory floor. The private equity model isn't flawed, but its structural timeline naturally forces rapid corporate optimization at the direct expense of local cultural continuity. Family offices represent a different path. They invest a single family's wealth, operating without the pressure of an outside committee of limited partners. Without a mandate to return capital by year 10, family offices operate with patient capital, extending their investment horizon indefinitely. This runway allows buyers to keep local management intact, grant operational autonomy, and prioritize long-term stewardship over quick resales. The family office label is frequently just a marketing tool used by firms that actually operate with the same high-pressure tactics as private equity. Some of these family offices co-invest with aggressive financial sponsors, quietly adhering to a short-term exit plan that mirrors the fund lifecycle. While family offices offer the promise of employee protection, their structural flexibility requires the seller to verify that the patient capital is actually present. To find out if a buyer's capital is truly patient, you must run reverse due diligence, flipping the script to investigate the buyer's history. We evaluate buyers with a scoring matrix before signing agreements. The critical requirement is their 100-day plan. Analyzing that integration playbook before the letter of intent reveals hidden centralization mandates and planned executive replacements as immediate red flags. Interview founders from their past acquisitions. Ask what changed early on and watch their reaction to references. Take those verbal promises and make them binding. Negotiate for transitional employment protections and local autonomy terms directly in the final closing agreements. Setting these hard rules creates friction. It takes time, and it requires specialized legal representation to enforce those boundaries during a tense negotiation. That friction acts as a filter, naturally repelling buyers interested only in a purely transactional, high-speed turnaround. Demanding transparency before the LOI is the only way to accurately price a deal's cultural risk and ensure that your priorities survive the post-close reality. Choosing the right exit path is a process of matching a buyer's structural incentives to your actual priorities. Consider the maximum payout seeker. For this founder, the primary goal is securing the highest possible valuation at closing. If you are focused entirely on upfront valuation at the top of the y-axis, your match is traditional private equity. The trade-off is clear. You walk away with more cash, but you must emotionally detach from the aggressive restructuring and employee turnover that will follow. On the other side is the legacy guardian. This founder views their employees as family, and preserving their local reputation is paramount. For the legacy guardian, the match is a verified family office. By accepting a slightly lower upfront payout, the legacy guardian trades a fraction of maximum cash for a guarantee that their staff and their life's work are protected. The most significant mistake you can make in an M&A discussion is assuming all capital behaves the same way. You cannot protect a loyal workforce or a local brand with hope alone. In the end, a successful exit treats the letter of intent as the starting gate and never the finish line. Interview potential buyers as aggressively as they audit your financials. Before you ever take a first meeting, decide which path you are on, the payout seeker or the legacy guardian. Engineering a successful exit is about choosing the right steward for the next chapter, ensuring the business legacy outlives the transaction.